Welcome to our webinar, How to Innovate Learning with Apple. Thanks for joining us. As everyone is getting signed in, we'll just go over a few housekeeping items. Please think of questions throughout the webinar and direct them to the Q&A section. We'll be answering them throughout and at the end of the webinar. This webinar will be recorded and we will share the recording with you shortly after it is finished. If we don't get to all of your questions, we'll follow up with you afterward. Reaching out to info@jamf.com will also get you in contact with someone at JAMF quickly. Hi, and welcome to How to Innovate Learning with Apple. My name is Christina Gremion. I'm a field sales engineer, specifically in the area of education, and it is my pleasure to be here with you today. Our agenda for today, we want to share some product solutions that maximize your use of Apple technologies, show you the importance of helping students learn 21st century skills and how to support those students, tips, tricks, and cost saving measures to transform your learning environment, and solutions and integrations that facilitate student led education. Let's look at JAMF as a whole and specifically the JAMF education experience. We believe in the power of our platform. Our platforms create an out of the box experience that is out of this world. First, managing and securing Apple in education starts with a strong MDM foundation that enables easy deployment, either with JAMF School or JAMF Pro. This is followed by powerful Mac authentication, identity management with JAMF Connect, and our endpoint solution, JAMF Protect. Add to it a purpose-built student safety solution, JAMF Safe Internet, that creates a safe learning environment for our students. Next, we have a powerful set of education apps, including JAMF Teacher, when combined with other third-party educational apps, creates a focused learning environment for our students. These are my absolute favorite part of the JAMF school education experience, and we'll address it a little later in the webinar. And last but not least, we have our last three pieces. First of all, our marketplace, which is a central location for you to find, learn about, and use valuable tools that integrate with and extend your JAMF MDM platform. And our community and knowledge networks, unlike any others, to wrap it all up. Our JAMF Educator is a customer education platform that is used to support JAMF teacher student apps. And JAMF Nation is a community made up of users and employees alike where IT meets learning and teaching. The JAMF platform, combined with other educational apps, provides the necessary infrastructure for seamless technology deployment. Let's look at some stats here. More than 57,000 organizations rely on JAMF to manage 25 million Apple devices. Within that 25 million Apple devices, 11 million plus of them are in the hands of students and educators. 7 of 10 of the largest United States school districts are JAMF customers. 10 of 10 of the best United States universities and 10 of 10 of the best global universities are also JAMF customers. That just goes to attest to the excellence of this product and how our customers entrust the end user experience and value that end user experience. JAMF still has a history of same day support, making certain that when that OS rolls out, whether that's Mac OS, iPad OS, TV OS, or iOS, it is ready to go right alongside the JAMF MDM platforms as well as other services. Now let's look at product solutions that maximize your use of Apple technologies. JAMF's Apple Enterprise Management Solutions are here to help organizations connect, manage, and protect all Apple devices: the iPad, the MacBook, the iMac, all the Macs, as well as the Apple TVs. Both our MDM solution and product solutions help you maximize the use of your Apple devices, but it all begins with Apple School Manager. With Apple School Manager and JAMF, you can ensure that your devices are not only secure for your staff and students, but the workflow from purchasing devices and content to getting them in the hands of learners is going to be quick and easy. We can't discuss these Apple devices in education without calling out Apple School Manager. I mean, it's a simple web based portal that helps IT admins deploy iPads, Mac, and Apple TVs in schools. You can easily provide students and staff with access to Apple services, set up the devices, purchase apps and books, and enable teachers with tools to create engaging learning experiences, all from one platform. Check out our webinar on the basics of Apple School Manager by scanning the code on your screen with your camera on your iPhone or other device. You can also find it on our website, jamf.com, and going to our library of webinars. When it comes to device management, we take the mystery out of it. Whether it is allowing certain privileges on the device or restricting access to specific functionalities, the JAMF MDM takes the hard work out of doing both by allowing admins to configure and manage any size fleet from 25 devices to 25,000 and greater, whether it's iOS, iPadOS, macOS, or tvOS. JAMF has got you covered. Zero touch deployment affords you the ability to ship devices straight to end users because you will have set the devices up beforehand, making sure they're customized just the way your end users need them to be. No matter the end user's level of tech knowledge that they may bring to the table, the admin can customize that device's enrollment workflow to meet the audience's needs. And last but not least, when it comes to application management, you will also have no problems due to, again, that Apple School Manager integration and your JAMF MDM, because you will be able to give your audience exactly what educational apps and other websites, and let's not forget about those web clips when I'm talking about websites, to exactly who needs them and when. Now, I'd like to address helping students learn 21st century skills and how to support them. Now, as a former educator, I am a 23 plus year veteran of education, a retiree. I remember the traditional four C's in that education arena. They were communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity. But then came along a guy named Michael Fullen who introduced two new C's: character and citizenship, as part of his new pedagogies for deep learning. The six C's not only aim for future career success, but also for success in every aspect of life. You see, jobs we can't even imagine are created every single day. Employers are requiring creative and problem solving skills, plus the ability to adapt to changes. These new skills and abilities our students can't polish by just doing well on their standardized tests. Now, don't get me wrong, these assessments are valuable for data driven instruction. However, teachers need to foster these new skills in the classroom, the skills of the six C's of 21st century education. Let's look at these. Collaboration is the skill of utilizing various personality talents and knowledge in a way to create a maximum outcome. That outcome must provide a benefit to a group, or if we're fortunate enough, an entire community. An example of that would be crowdsourcing. Who would know, years ago that we would have such a way to get new, innovative inventions and products on the market? Looking at the productivity suite of Pages, Keynote, and Numbers, these apps allow students to collaborate and learn simultaneously. This learning could be while doing a project or assignment. And what's great about this is that this collaboration does not require the end users slash students to be in the same room. This takes the limit off of their learning, specifically their collaborative learning experiences, allowing them to meet anywhere at any time. The next C is that of critical thinking. In the 21st century, an individual must be able to create something new or create something in a new way, utilizing the knowledge they already have acquired. And creativity is just not for the artsy, okay? But rather, we need students and individuals to be able to develop various solutions in that aspect of creativity to problems in real life situations. So, with Apple's Everyone Can Code curriculum, that is the crux of critical thinking, using the knowledge they already know with a little bit of guidance from the exercises in the curriculum guide and the teacher as the facilitator, of course, to solve problems. And some of them, as they matriculate up this curriculum, seemingly could be real world problems. This curriculum will guide you through the Swift Playgrounds, which is an app that teaches coding for kids through a world of interactive puzzles and playful characters. It's great for students age 8 and up and will help you introduce coding in the same language used by professional app developers. What does that mean? We could be training up a whole army of coders and app developers right here in our learning institutions without even trying, because it has a little gamification behind it and they are learning and having fun at the same time. Our next C is that of citizenship. And we know it is important for an individual to be in touch with everything that surrounds them, both their culture and the community. With the use of all these apps, students can use the productivity apps that we just talked about to help them solve problems or local citizenship projects. However, with the creativity apps, those can be used to help students create things that demonstrate the mastery of solving that problem for the community or society as a whole. They can create a movie, they can create a short clip or a podcast that illustrates their ability to solve the problem or demonstrates the solution to that problem. Let's look at communication. We know that with communication, that is very important and it is the crux of all things in this world. We have to be able to communicate with one another and communicate effectively with one another. All of the aforementioned apps, the productivity apps and the creative apps, can be used to communicate the solution to problems and are great ways to demonstrate a product of project-based learning. However, specifically looking at the FaceTime app, that is the last icon on the first row here, and removing it from a consumer model perspective and making use of it for education, Also, with the use of managed Apple IDs, JAMF admins can granularly manage those and the use of this communication tool. It can even be used as a remote classroom vehicle when used in combination with the JAMF Teacher app. We're going to talk a little bit more about the JAMF Teacher app later, but just put a pin right there because that one is not just for calling grandma on Mother's Day or Christmas or Easter. It's not for chit chatting with your girlfriends or your homies. It is for education purposes as well. And creativity. Yes, creativity is something that we think about for the arts, yes. And centered around creativity, I want to highlight the curriculum piece from Apple. Now, remember, creativity can be that of problem solving as well. We want our students to be creative and have the rigor to come up with solutions to problems. But I am going back to the actual creative aspect when it comes to this curriculum piece, which is called Everyone Can Create. Of course, you can see the teacher guide here. It also comes with lessons, just like the Everyone Can Code series does. But if we take creativity, everyone can create, teaches students new skills to develop and communicate ideas through video, photography, music, and drawing on the iPad. So it's not just them being creative, but it is using that to communicate the ideas that they have come up with. From quick introductory activities to skill building project guides, teachers have a range of fun and meaningful ways to ignite creativity with any lesson in any age group. Next, we have the C of character. And we know that character involves choice and voice. That's one of the skills in character development. By making use of all the apps that we've spoken of at this up to this point, in combination with schoolwork, and that's the last app on the second row. Students now have to make a choice as to how and when to use which app appropriately to express themselves. Educators can assign tasks as well as books, which is the last icon on the first row, via schoolwork, and allow students to turn assignments in via this platform. So it keeps things organized for the educator, but it also allows students, again, the choice and voice in choosing which modality they'd like to communicate the results of their project based learning. Now, I'd like to discuss with you tips, tricks, and cost saving measures to transform your learning environment. Apple TV has distinguished itself as a living room fixture, with families relying on it to stream digital content across multiple apps or from their personal devices using AirPlay. I know I love me some Ted Lasso and Loot. Like, those are my favorite Apple TV shows. And Apple Plus Fitness, love it, love it. But anyway, but it has its potential as a dedicated and scalable wireless media player featuring true zero touch enrollment. That also makes it a powerful tool for educational settings. Classrooms in both K 12 and higher education, those educators can use an Apple TV to replace expensive and high maintenance projectors. Oh my goodness, I've been there in my former K 12 instructional technology supervisor life, as well as makes easily displaying digital slides and documents without being tethered to a board and keeping that instructor at the front of the room. Like, you can now move around because due to AirPlay, you're not tethered via any type of cords. Teachers and students alike can AirPlay presentations from their Macs, iPads, iPhones, or even some non-Apple devices. It's easy to allow students to collaborate in real time and to expand the conversation with video conferencing capabilities. The Apple TV is now your best option for an all in one classroom tool. There's really no limit to what Apple TV can do for your organization. Whether it's a single device, in the admin building, or an extensive fleet of Apple TVs throughout the district or school building. All you have to do is plug it into a TV screen and you are ready to begin the process of transformation. Now, on the subject of digital signage solutions, uh, we have a partner, Carousel Digital Signage, and with the use of JAMF deploying this digital signage software, you can interrupt your AirPlay, and that's one of the great features of Apple TV along with this product that can be available. So you're airplaying a lesson, or a student is airplaying the solution to a math problem, and then all of a sudden you see alert, storm approaching. Assume the procedures for a storm of this type. Well, that is done with carousel digital signage, and that digital signage is being deployed making use of the JAMF MDM. JAMF and carousel digital signage make it easy to interrupt AirPlay sessions and instantly override them with your priority content. Whether it's a student giving a presentation, or it's a professional development session and we have a room full of teachers or staff watching other instructional information or videos. This could even be an employee streaming a personal playlist as background music for a program. You don't need to let it get in the way of emergency updates like weather alerts or other safety notifications. All active AirPlay sessions are automatically stopped, and a safety message can be sent to every display across the school. Other use cases could be displaying the school lunch menu, connecting students in other classes. You could display school events and announcements, and inform students and staff during emergencies. Again, whether that's safety or weather related. Let's look at some other uh, cost saving measures. A simple video production technique can animate a wide range of student projects. A green screen. Hey, instead of, as I was faced with this some years ago, having to buy a green screen kit and then seeing teachers invent their own green screen kit by going and purchasing a green sheet and having to mount it or hang it in some type of way, a more simple way would be to just paint the wall. This is a way to bring your videos to life with iMovie, because you do have that effect in iMovie where you can put that in place, and then you could superimpose your own background if need be to bring that curricula to life. It is cross curricular and it is appropriate for any age group. And all you would need would be a dedicated space with good lighting for those quality video clips. That good lighting is the key. And we like having a dedicated space, but if you're sharing a space with another part of the classroom, that's okay too. It makes it flexible, a flexible learning environment, because as you can see here, we've just put the furniture back in place and the green wall looks like it's part of the room, just a contrasting color. Next, let's look at solutions and integrations that facilitate student-led education. Apps that focus teaching and learning. I have coined these three apps as the JAMF Education Empowerment App Suite. I did that because all three of these apps empower the end user with some type of accountability for learning. With the teacher and parent apps, It's empowering those end users to help the students focus on their learning. And with the JAMF Student app, it is empowering the student to take accountability for their own learning. With the JAMF Teacher application, specifically from the JAMF School MDM, although the JAMF Teacher app is available on both the JAMF Pro and the JAMF School MDMs, you're going to be seeing it, the functionality list here from the JAMF School perspective. Both App Lock and Web Lock and restrictions of functionality are available on the JAMF Pro side. But again, this list in its entirety, is available on the JAMF School MDM. We're now going to look at the App Lock and Web Lock functionalities on the device. So here we see the teacher iPad on the right and the student iPad on the left. The teacher is going to open the JAMF Teacher app and choose a class. Once she chooses a class, we can see that Michelle Jones's iPad is going to connect, and then the teacher is going to select App Lock. This enables the teacher to only allow the apps that she wants her students to access for this particular instructional period. Here she's going to select the Google Classroom, explain everything, and manipulative of the week apps to ensure that Michelle is focused on the math task that she'll be doing. Once you pay close attention to Michelle's iPad on the left, you notice it has responded and all the apps disappear except for what Ms. Warren has selected for Michelle. Michelle still has the freedom to move between apps that she needs to access because she is not locked into just one app. Now let's look at WebLock. We see here we have the student iPad on the left and the teacher iPad on the right. The teacher is already in the class with little Liam, and he is already active and ready to go here, responding. And we can see that the teacher is going in. She is not going to lock them into Safari because she wants them to have use of certain applications as well as the web resources that she's listed here for Lion Research. We'll see Liam's device not decrease in apps, but when Safari is open, we will see those two web resources over there listed as favorites. And there they are. The student will try to go somewhere else there other than the two resources, and he will get a nice message there that will say basically that the other resources that he's trying to reach outside of what the teacher prescribed are restricted. Again, this is a great way for teachers to ensure that their students are still on task and they are taking away those accidental possible distractions on the device. Next, we're going to look at the JAMF Parent App. This app is going to be on the parent's device. This also affords the parents the ability to limit apps and device functionality on their child's school-issued device only. Let's see how Michelle's parent can help Michelle focus on her learning at home while she's on her iPad. On the right, we have Michelle's mother's iPhone here with the parent app installed. Michelle's iPad is already set up on the JAMF Parent app, okay? So she can scroll down and tap on Michelle's name, and from here, her mom can turn off any distractions such as social media, games, entertainment, shopping, music, whatsoever. Then with the app lock feature, she knows that Michelle's school uses Google Classroom, so she's going to make sure that Michelle only has the app she needs to focus on while she's at home. These apps can be locked for a specific period of time to ensure that Michelle is going to give her learning the full attention that it deserves. And this is helpful because Parents have their own things that they have to worry about, their jobs, their duties after the job, housework. Hey, I'm a mom myself, so I do get it. So this only helps and doesn't burden, but this helps the parent manage the dual duty sometimes of being the teacher and the parent at home once that student leaves school. Let's recap what we've seen during this webinar. So we saw product solutions that maximize your use of Apple technologies, looking at the benefit of having Apple School Manager and the JAMF MDM products of either JAMF Pro, JAMF School, how easy it is to deploy, configure, and purchase content for those devices, which is maximizing your use of those Apple technologies. The importance of the 6 C's of the 21st century skills and how to support those skills with Apple curricula. Tips, tricks, and cost saving measures to transform learning environments. We saw the green screen being painted instead of purchased or assembled, if you will. And we also saw the replacement of an expensive way of displaying your screen, such as an interactive whiteboard or projector and screen or a flat panel with an Apple TV and a large screen TV connected. Lastly, we saw solutions and integrations that facilitate student led education, and that was none other than our JAMF teacher, JAMF student, and JAMF parent applications. I would like to share with you some additional resources. During our demo of AppLock, we saw the teacher lock the student into the Google Classroom app. We do recognize that a lot of our education customers are making use of the Google Workspace for Education or Microsoft 365 education platforms, and they work great with Apple devices and JAMF. So we have QRs here if you'd like to see how that collaboration works. We have integrations that will allow schools who rely on Google Workspace identity services to implement directory sync and federation authentication in Apple School Manager. With that directory sync feature, user records and manage Apple IDs will be created automatically, and users will be able to sign in with their manage Apple ID, which is their Google Workspace account. This is a awesome seamless sign-in process for those end users. We also have QRs that link you to the JAMF School Shared iPad setup and JAMF Teacher Guide for Teachers. So you get to see if you have shared iPads, how JAMF School is set up in that environment, as well as how JAMF, the JAMF Teacher app, is uh, um, integrated into instruction for your teachers. We also have the JAMF Educator portal that is found at educator.jamf.com. And don't forget about this awesome JAMF Educator badge that's at the end where you can receive that credential working through the simulation of exactly what you saw with app lock and web lock and device restriction of functionalities. I'd like to thank you for listening to me today and allowing me to share the information that I had to share with you. Just a reminder, you will receive an email of the recording when it's ready. If you're ready to, hey, become a new customer or add to your existing JAMF portfolio of products, please scan the QR code to get in touch with us. But if you still have questions, remember you can reach out directly at info@jamf.com to get answers. And we thank you for your time today. And until next time, take care.